I'm Dan Atherton, and we are here currently at Afton Bikes. We've been here in Mac about 2 years now. Myself and my sister, we've lived here for probably 6 years now. Before that we were over near Oswestry, and we pretty much moved over here purely for the mountain biking and for the riding, and then moved the bike company here. The bike company was previously down in Monmouth. So here at Afton Bikes we assemble mountain bikes basically and sell all over the world. People can order online on the website. They basically put in the exact measurement that they want their bike to be. You know, some riders are tall, some riders are small, some riders like a big bike, some riders like a small bike. So with Afton Bikes, they've got the ability to go onto the website, put in their measurements within certain parameters, and then the engineers here feed that information into a 3D printer, and the printer basically prints out the joints of the bike, and they get assembled here in Machynlleth in West Wales. So myself, my sister Rachel and my brother G, we've raced mountain bikes all over the world for the last 15-20 years. The whole time we kept the team as Atherton Racing, it was known, and then sponsors sponsored that kind of company, if you like. So it was more of like a football club setup where the infrastructure stays the same in the team manager, the coaches, the mechanics. We have our own race truck, Atherton HQ, which is where everything gets done. So the sponsors change, you know, every 3 or 4 years, but the structure stays the same. And then so over the kind of years of racing, we built the Atherton name into a brand almost. We had merchandise and we sold product, but with a view to building towards having a product in the future. And then we kind of, you know, we considered all different things, but ultimately we set our hearts on having our own bike company. So we've, for our whole professional lives, lived in Wales and raced mountain bikes from Wales. You know, we chose Wales as a location for ourselves for training, because it put us in the best position, you know, to go on and take on the world's best. You know, some of the mountains here in Wales and some of the terrain that we have is you know, some of the best in the world. So it was a great place to train. And then we've always come over here to Machynlleth area for training. Originally, one of the first places we rode was in Dinas Mordwy with the hardline, the Red Bull hardline track. That has been a track for years before it was an event. We always used to use that mountain for training. And then later, we decided, myself and Rach, to move over here and base ourselves from here. Just purely because of the terrain, you know, it's such an unbelievable place. You know, you've got the sea, the estuary, and then straight away you're into huge mountains. And then came the kind of the start of Dyfi Bike Park. You know, I'd always been looking for somewhere to start our own bike park, and we kind of knew if we were going to have our own bike company, we wanted to have our own bike park, because the car park of a bike park is where you kind of really see what the industry is doing. It's like a snapshot of what people really want to ride and what bikes people want to ride and what works in the industry. So we set up Dyfi Bike Park. You know, the top of the mountain, 660 meters, and then down to about 60 meters at the bottom, so 600 meters of elevation, which is amazing in the UK, you know. And it's right next to the sea, so, you know, people are riding all day, getting in laps, and then go to the beach and chill out, and it's such an amazing experience for everyone, you know, to be based here. And then we moved the bike company over here, and to have the mix really of, it's almost like a lifestyle that people buy into. You know, the majority of people who've come to work at the bike company have moved here because of the lifestyle, because they've got big mountains, they've got the sea, they can ride at the weekends, and then during the week they're involved in a company that's high-end tech, you know. So you've got a mix of high-end tech, mountains, you know, the lifestyle that comes with living in this area, and that is really, really hard to find these days. So when Atherton Bikes was searching for staff for the company, we thought West Wales would be a huge kind of hindrance to people. You know, we didn't think people would want to move here just because it's out in the middle of nowhere. But we were so overwhelmed with applications. You know, the people were so into the fact that they could ride at the weekends, be close to the mountains, but still be involved in a company with high-end tech. I think specifically for Dyfi Bike Park and for myself starting that company, I was pretty overwhelmed and continue to be overwhelmed by the support from the locals. You know, I probably spent like 4 or 5 years getting to know people, kind of not wanting to tread on too many toes, just kind of settling in, because I was just so nervous about starting a big company like that in a new place that I, you know, wasn't really from. So, but from day one, you know, the support has been unbelievable, and I think it's, you know, just the pride that people have. You know, they want to put this place on the map, and they want to show that it's as good as anywhere in the country for mountain biking. And again, it comes down to that kind of community feel that this place has got, and it's so special. Like you can't buy that, and you can't, you know, no grants and no investment's going to buy that community feel that we've had from day one. And I continue to be surprised that literally every single person who I bump into is 100% behind it, and they're so like, they just want to help out in any way they can, and that is, you know, so important for a startup company. You know, if there's one thing I will say to people starting a new business, it's do your legwork. You know, put the time in to really understand where you're placing this company and who you're having to deal with on a day-to-day basis, because they can make your life hell or they can make it unbelievable, you know. And we've had so much support from the locals, and that's been amazing for me. So the biggest challenges with setting up a new company here in West Wales, specifically for the bike company, has been finding that talent that we need for specific roles within the company. You know, so someone to run the 3D printer, someone to do all the CAD work. They're all quite specific roles, and I don't think it's that the talent's not here, it's that it leaves to go to uni and probably doesn't come back because there's no need to, or there has been no need to in the past. So I think keeping people here, or giving them reasons to come back, you know, because it's their home, they want to come back, they love the area, it's an amazing area. So if those opportunities and those reasons were here, then people would come back, I think. So in terms of future plans for the bike park, I think it's much bigger than the bike park. You know, we're kind of starting to try and move away from the bike park and focus on Dyfi and Machynlleth, you know, as as a destination almost, you know. So we don't really want to take everything for ourselves at the bike park, you know. Dyfi Forest, Machynlleth area, you know, the whole biosphere has got so much to offer mountain bikers, and you know, the bike park's almost like the catalyst to bring people in. You know, it's the high end, high media, big hype to get Dyfi on the map. But in terms of the future, it's very much about building Mach into a destination for people to come and stay for like a long weekend or even a whole week, you know. A place that can rival the Alps. You know, when people are thinking about booking their summer holiday, there's no reason to go to Europe when we could have the best mountain biking, you know, that there is to offer here. And then in terms of the bike company, Atherton Bikes, you know, the website just launched a few weeks ago, so we're really right at the start of that journey with the bike company, and it's so exciting, you know, to have realised the dream that we've always thought about our whole lives. You know, we've always ridden for other companies, you know, big companies, American companies, and you put so much work and time into designing bikes for them, and then 3 or 4 years down the line, you don't ride for them anymore, but they're still, you know, cashing in on your experience. So to suddenly have that opportunity to build our own bike company is, you know, the fact that we've got it this far is amazing for me, and the future is so exciting. You know, we're working with Welsh Government now to build a new facility in Mach that will be like bespoke for the bike company. So yeah, it's a super exciting time. I think from my point of view, and setting up a company in the Dyfi biosphere, it purely came down to lifestyle, you know, and building a company somewhere where I really wanted to be. And I think that fact has been compounded over the last 2 years with COVID, you know, and everyone around here just seems so happy with where they work and like in their environment. And that's so important when you're building a company, you know, to wake up every morning and to go to work and know that you're going to like a sick place and like somewhere that you genuinely want to be. I think in terms of setting up new companies, then West Wales is like one of the better places to be at the moment. You know, you've got things like the Mid Wales growth deal that's coming in, and you know, North Wales, South Wales have had heavy investment over the last, you know, 10-20 years, and Mid Wales has kind of been forgotten about a little bit. And so, you know, in a selfish way, it's a really good time for myself and for Atherton Bikes and for Dyfi Bike Park to be setting up in West Wales, you know, and particularly in the Dyfi biosphere. You know, it really feels like things are starting to happen and things are starting to move forward, and the focus is definitely on West Wales.